Ethan Winters, a young poet with a heavy heart, found himself wandering the winding paths of the Himalayas. The weight of his past bore down upon him like the relentless mountain mist, obscuring his vision and numbing his senses. He had come to this remote corner of the world in search of solace, hoping to find a way to mend the shattered pieces of his soul. As he trekked higher into the mountains, the air grew thinner and the landscape more rugged. The jagged peaks and deep ravines seemed to mirror the turmoil within him, a physical manifestation of the emotional scars he carried. With each labored step, Ethan felt the burden of his memories grow heavier, threatening to crush him under their weight. Just as he was about to succumb to despair, Ethan stumbled upon a hidden monastery nestled within the folds of the mountainside. The ancient stone walls and fluttering prayer flags beckoned to him, promising sanctuary from the tempest raging inside his mind. With a glimmer of hope, he approached the entrance, his heart yearning for the solace he so desperately sought. As he crossed the threshold, Ethan was greeted by the serene countenance of an elderly Tibetan lama. Tenzin Gyatso, with his wise eyes and gentle smile, emanated an aura of tranquility that seemed to penetrate the very core of Ethan's being. The lama bowed his head in welcome, his presence alone offering a balm to the poet's fractured spirit. In the stillness of the monastery courtyard, Ethan felt the first stirrings of peace, as if the ancient stones themselves were absorbing the weight of his sorrow. The lama's knowing gaze met his own, and in that moment Ethan knew he had found more than just a place of refuge. He had found a guide to lead him through the labyrinth of his emotions and into the light of self-discovery. In the days that followed, Ethan found himself drawn into the rhythms of monastic life. The chanting of sutras and the gentle tinkling of prayer bells became the soundtrack to his healing journey. Under Tenzin Gyatso's guidance, he began to explore the depths of his own mind, confronting the painful memories that had long haunted him. The Lama taught Ethan the art of meditation, showing him how to still the turbulent waters of his thoughts and find clarity amidst the chaos. In the silence of the meditation hall, the poet discovered a space within himself that he had never known existed, a place of quiet introspection and self-reflection. As Ethan delved deeper into his practice, he found the words that had once eluded him flowing freely onto the page. The monastery's tranquil surroundings and the Lama's gentle wisdom had unlocked a wellspring of creativity within him, and he poured his heart into verses that spoke of pain, healing, and the transformative power of letting go. Tenzin Gyatso, sensing the progress of his student, began to share ancient Tibetan teachings on the nature of suffering and the path to liberation. Through parables and personal anecdotes, the Lama revealed the importance of embracing the present moment and releasing attachment to the past. Ethan, his heart slowly mending, found solace in these timeless wisdom. One evening, as the sun dipped behind the mountain peaks, Ethan and Tenzin Gyatso sat in the monastery gardens, sipping butter tea and discussing the poet's journey. The Lama, his eyes twinkling with compassion, reminded Ethan that the path to healing was not a destination, but a continuous unfolding. With each step, each breath, and each poem, Ethan was learning to let go and embrace the beauty of the present. As the weeks turned into months, Ethan found himself increasingly drawn to the teachings of the Buddha. The Four Noble Truths and the Eightfold Path became his guiding lights, illuminating the way through the darkness of his past. With each passing day, he felt the weight of his sorrow slowly lifting, replaced by a growing sense of peace and acceptance. Tenzin Gyatso, ever present and ever patient, continued to guide Ethan through the intricacies of Buddhist philosophy. The Lama shared stories of his own struggles and the profound transformations he had undergone on his path to enlightenment. These tales of resilience and hope resonated deeply with Ethan, strengthening his resolve to embrace the present and let go of the past. In moments of quiet contemplation, Ethan would often find himself in the monastery's library, poring over ancient texts and scriptures. The wisdom contained within those yellowed pages spoke to his soul, offering insights into the nature of suffering and the path to liberation. He found solace in the words of the great Buddhist masters, their teachings a balm for his wounded heart. As his understanding of the Dharma deepened, Ethan's poetry took on a new depth and meaning. His verses became infused with the essence of impermanence, the beauty of letting go, and the transformative power of compassion. The words that flowed from his pen were no longer just a reflection of his own pain, but a testament to the universal human experience of suffering and the potential for awakening. One crisp autumn morning, as the first light of dawn crept over the mountain peaks, Ethan and Tenzin Gyatso walked together in silent meditation. The world around them seemed to shimmer with a newfound clarity, each leaf and pebble a reminder of the fleeting nature of existence. In that moment, Ethan realized that his journey to the monastery had been more than just a search for solace. It had been a pilgrimage to the very heart of his being. As the seasons changed and the snow began to blanket the mountain peaks, Ethan found himself at a new juncture in his journey. The pain of his past, once so all-consuming, had faded to a distant memory, replaced by a profound sense of gratitude and acceptance. He knew that the time had come to share the wisdom he had gained with others, to offer hope to those who were still lost in the labyrinth of their own emotions. With Tenzin Gyatso's blessing, Ethan began to lead meditation sessions and poetry workshops for the other monks and visitors to the monastery. He shared his story of transformation, inspiring others to embrace the power of letting go and finding peace in the present moment. His words, once filled with sorrow, now carried the light of compassion and understanding. As he watched the faces of those around him soften with newfound insight and relief, Ethan realized that his journey had been not just for himself, but for all those who were struggling with the weight of their own pain. He had become a beacon of hope, a living testament to the transformative power of the Dharma. In the quiet moments between teaching and meditation, Ethan would often find himself in the company of Tenzin Gyatso, engaging in deep discussions about the nature of reality and the path to enlightenment. The Lama, his eyes sparkling with wisdom and mirth, would remind Ethan that the journey was never truly over, that each moment was an opportunity for growth and awakening. As the winter snows began to melt and the first hints of spring emerged, Ethan knew that his time at the monastery was drawing to a close. He had found the solace and guidance he had sought, and now it was time to carry that wisdom back into the world. With a heart full of gratitude and a mind clear as the mountain air, he prepared to embark on a new chapter of his life, forever changed by the rhymes of the mountain sage. On the day of his departure, Ethan stood at the monastery gates, his heart full of bittersweet emotions. The journey that had begun in despair had ended in a profound sense of peace and purpose. He looked back at the ancient stone walls that had been his sanctuary, the place where he had found himself anew, and felt a deep sense of gratitude for all that he had learned. Tenzin Gyatso, his mentor and friend, stood beside him, a gentle hand resting on his shoulder. The Lama's eyes shone with pride and affection, reflecting the profound transformation he had witnessed in his student. In a voice soft with emotion, he reminded Ethan that the wisdom he had gained was not meant to be kept hidden, but to be shared with the world. As Ethan set foot on the winding path that would lead him back to the world below, he knew that he carried with him the essence of the mountain sage's teachings. The rhymes of compassion, acceptance, and letting go were now etched upon his heart, a permanent reminder of the power of the present moment. With each step, Ethan felt a renewed sense of purpose and clarity. He knew that the path ahead would not always be easy, that there would be moments of doubt and struggle. But he also knew that he had the tools and the wisdom to navigate the challenges that lay ahead, to find beauty and meaning in even the darkest of times. As he descended the mountain, Ethan's thoughts turned to the poetry that had been his constant companion throughout his journey. The verses that had once been filled with sorrow and despair now sang of hope, resilience, and the transformative power of letting go. He knew that his words would be a beacon of light for others, a reminder that even in the depths of suffering, there was always the potential for awakening and rebirth.